All right, CGA got game back in here. Week 12 of 18 weeks. Are you going to be able to stand through this football season? Anyway, we got a great show for you lined up, about 30 to 35 minutes, since most of the NFL teams played either Thursday or Friday or Monday. And we back in here and week 12 preview. Hey, man, it's not looking good for a lot of y'all NFL teams. And I'm pulling up the week 12 schedule. And we can review a lot of games, and we're going to find out if the Philadelphia Eagles can hold out. Their gauntlet schedule starts right now. Can the NFL leaders, the Philadelphia Eagles, hold out tonight? Let me see here. I'm pulling up the schedule right quick just so you can see. Let me see. Hold on for a second. Why do I got the wrong schedule up? Here we go right here. All right. What happened to the Detroit Cowardly Lions? All right, the Detroit Cowardly Lions laid a fat egg. Go ahead and write them off as a first round NFL playoff loss. All right, they're probably going to lose in the first round in the NFL playoffs. That's what I'm just looking at. All right, very, very overrated team here. Overrated. And the Green Bay Packers embarrasses them on prime time. Okay, prime time. While the Lions could have a come out party, they got roasted and lambasted. I got this thing all out of order. That's why I'm messing around here. All right, I got this thing out of order. There we go. Now I can work it a little bit better here. All right, there you go right there. The Detroit Cowardly Lions takes an L. 8-3, a division loss. Not good. Bad timing. All right, the Lions normally recover, though. And the Minnesota Vikings are on their neck right now. So if the Minnesota Vikings can get some momentum, the Detroit Lions is going to start looking goofy. I want to take a look at what the Lions schedule, what remains of their schedule. And right now it's looking like they're going to pick up on a couple of hot teams. The Saints are always up and down. You got the Broncos, who are hella hot right now, looking to get in this third place, keeping third place, potentially past the Raiders up in second place. That would be a story. Then you got the Vikings, the Cowboys, and the Vikes. Man, I'm going to tell you, Detroit Lion fans need to be wary here because they can pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 losses to moonwalk into the playoffs and get bounced in the first round. And potentially, let me go ahead and pull up the NFL standings right here. Potentially, what can the Minnesota Vikings do? Let me see what happens here. All right, I know people are worried about it. Let me see here. The NFC, yeah, the Vikings are right there at 6-5. So watch out for Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings. The Detroit Lions better pick it up real quick. All right, the Packs, the Green Bay Packers, forget about it this year, but maybe Jordan Love can become the player he needs to become. All right, so other than that, the Detroit Lions embarrass themselves, and the Lion fans got to be smart and just a little bit. How about them Cowboys? All right, the Washington Commanders, Redskins, not very good. You know, it's going to be the end of the year for Ron Rivera, and he happens to boot Jack Del Rio. I mean, Jack Del Rio's like, hey, we all getting fired at the end of the year. We all getting fired. Why you firing me with several games left in the season here? All right, you getting fired too. All right, so anyway, Redskins not going to do much. Cowboys looking good with the Cowboys. Are they going to be able to contend coming up in the last 6 games of the season? Well, they got the Seahawks, who were a major disappointment on Thursday. They have the Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Lions, and the Commanders. All right, so they got a pretty tough schedule to round it off. I know Cowgirl fans are going to be going crazy right now, but 45-10 against a team that's basically lost their soul. Not bad to start off the week. What about the 49ers, the Seahags, man? Disappointment, major disappointment on a variety of ways. You got humbled in your own stadium and didn't really compete. 49ers look good, all right? They are who we thought they were, yeah. And so the 49ers rebounding from that 3-game losing streak, and they seem to be putting it together. And matter of fact, if you take the eyeball test, the 49ers are the best team in the league. But listen, the eyeball test is different than the actual games. 49ers look good. CMC looks good. Debo looks good. Brock Purdy is solid. I mean, they got some weapons there. But we're going to find out here next Sunday Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers. All right, I'm looking for that game right there. But 49ers embarrassed the Seahawks. Seahawks, go ahead and pack it up for the rest of the season. I don't even know what y'all trying to do. All right, you got really tough schedule coming up. Seahawks got Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles, and then they end up potentially going to pick up 3 wins. This is a wrap for them. San Francisco's the division champion for that part right there. So those are the games on Thursday. He said nobody covering, man. Shit, man. It's crazy. All right. It's crazy. I had Seattle. I thought Seattle at least would be able to go +7. Seattle didn't do shit. I mean, I was pissed. All right. I was like, +7, Seattle looks good to me. And it wasn't. I was like, Seattle, you can't even cover a +7 on the Niners at home on Thanksgiving. Disappointment. Disappointing. That's why I was disappointed in the Seahawks. All right. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the games coming up this weekend. Most of these games don't mean anything in terms of playoff. Here we go right here. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going backwards, man. They going backwards all the way to the NFL, what you would say the lottery picks. All right, maybe they can position themselves better for a better draft pick, maybe a quarterback. Going with the Indianapolis Colts. You never know what the Colts are going to do either, so this should be a good, hotly contested game. Let me see what we got here in terms of the spread. All right, let me see here. Spread. See what we got here because we got to get a good idea of what these teams are expected to do. Did you see ESPN rolled out their new betting app? Oh, ESPN sports betting. This is a disgrace. All right, never get involved in sports betting. All right, what are we doing here? What team are we looking at? Oh, the Yucks. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking at opening. What is it here? Total 44.5. Colts favored by 1.5, I suppose. What is it? All right, I don't like this line here. Let me get another line. All right, I don't like this right here. I'm looking at. I need another. Let me see what we got over here. Okay, looking at the wrong screen. It's the Bucks. Yeah, 2.5 point favorite for the Colts. 2.5. Okay, here we go. Somebody said the Bucks disappointed them this year. What did you think they were going to do? What did you think they were going to do here? We got a super chat. It says, Stony Montana says for Hunter Renfro's hurdle versus the Dolphins. All right, shout out to you there, man. Good game. Good game. Raiders look solid. We got a tough schedule coming up here. Our next 4 games are tough. We'll talk about that in a minute. And getting back to this game right there, I got who's the favorite here? Colts. Yeah, Colts. I don't like what I'm looking at here. Hold on for a second. I gotta get another betting line here because I'm looking at some weird screens on my screen here. I need something a little bit better than what they're presenting me here. All right, hold for a second. All right, so I got Buccaneers. Where is it? Is this week 12? Anybody got it? Because I can't even find it. All right, there it is. Colts favored by a point. Colts favored by 2.5. All right, Colts favored by 2.5 there. That's a tough betting line. I'm not trying to lose any more money than I lost this week. I was doing well until yesterday. Yesterday I got hammered. And really Thursday I got hammered. All right. And so Thursday didn't do me any good. And yesterday I did absolutely horrible. I lost. So I'm in trouble today. All right. All right, we got Patriots and Giants games that, again, don't matter much. Both of these teams are sorry as hell, and I don't even know if your fan bases are going to be involved. Patriots favored by 3.5 points. Listen, you would think points would be at a premium, but you got the Giants coming out. Hey, how about that Tommy DeVito putting up 31 points the previous week? I believe it was against the Washington Redskins or something like that. DeVito's coming out. He looks like he can score. I thought they could never score. DeVito's coming out like gangbusters, and they're looking good. They opened up the playbook for Danny DeVito. But the New England Patriots are going to beat the Giants? I don't think so. I think the Patriots possibly might lose this game and really embarrass Bill Belichick and have him out, sending out, going crazy and broke. Yeah, you can take the Giants 3.5 on this one because I think the Giants can win this game, but certainly they're not going to get blown out by the Patriots. A blowout will be 3.5 there. All right. So anyway, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals. Well, I mean, this is an interesting game. 2 weeks ago, this league looks like Cincinnati would do something, but the Cincinnati Bengals are done. It's a Rapski for them, and they're just going to go ahead and pack it in the rest of the season, which I'm assuming. But of course, they play the Pittsburgh Steelers, who cannot put up more than 14 points and still win the games. They finally fired Matt Canada, which their fans base has been trying to get fired for at least the last couple of years. And Matt Canada, it finally gets the boot. So I don't know who's doing the play calling, and I don't know if it will even help. What is it even going to help at this point? Your boy Kenny Pickens cannot move the ball up and down the field. He can't do anything. Maybe they may be inspired. Maybe they may play inspired right here. All right, he said fire the quarterback too. I mean that I don't think Kenny Pickens is the guy. But where are we looking at the line here? Pittsburgh favored 2.5. I mean, Pittsburgh should win this game, but they might not win it by 2.5. Right? Pittsburgh can't score the ball. And then you got no Joe Burrow on the Bengals. This is going to be an ugly game. This might not. What is the over-under on this game? This over-under's got to be pretty low. 35.5. Yeah. 35.5 over-under. Take the under. I can't imagine anyone. Who's the Bengals quarterback? Who's the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback? Cincinnati Bengals QB. They just brought somebody in, but is Colin Kaepernick the quarterback? What's his name? Something major. What is the guy's name? Jordan Palmer. What? Wait, no. Jake Browning. Where is he from? Jake Browning. That name sounds familiar. Can they bring back Carson Palmer? John Kitna? All right. Can they bring back Andy Dalton? I don't know who Jake Browning is. Anybody got the hot take on Jake Browning? Who the hell? Wait. No, I'm sorry. That's not Jake Browning. It's Jordan Palmer. Is that the guy's name? I don't even know who it is. Jake Browning? Hold on for a second. Let me pull him up. Jake Browning. Okay. He's from California. Oh, okay. He went to UW. All right. He went to UW. All right. Shout out to him. All right. Jake Browning. I knew he sound familiar. Okay. He went to University of Washington. All right. Anyway. Okay. He went to UW. All right. He's terrible. Let me see here. Bring back Boomer Esiason, somebody else. All right, I don't think this is going to work. This game is going to be ugly. I think they're not going to get 35.5. Neither one of these teams are going to get that total. It's going to be tough unless Jake Browning comes out like crazy. Okay. All right, this season is going crazy. How many starting quarterbacks now? Rookie quarterbacks starting 10? All of the quarterbacks are injured at this point. Ken Anderson. No, not Ken Anderson. That's really going back. All right. We got look at these games, man. These games are awful. NFL's about to lose some money. Nobody wants to watch these games. Carolina Panthers and the Tennessee Titans. Jeez. Oh man. I mean, what can we say about this game? I mean, I have to give some commentary. Over and under 37 to 36.5 over under. Carolina is not favored. Obviously, they're playing at home. Tennessee's going to lose this game. I mean, Tennessee has no reason to win this game. None. Carolina should win. I know they're only 1-9, but they're going to win this game. You got Matt. You got Will Levitz and Bryce. Yeah. This is going to be ugly. Who scheduled these games? All right. If I'm the NFL, I'm looking at the scheduler. Like, what the hell happened here? Okay. What's the next game on here? All right. Oh, okay. This will be a good one. This will be a good game right here. This will be a good one if you want to watch at 10 o'clock, I suppose. You got the Jaguars, who got humbled last week by the 49ers. Humbled versus the hot Houston Texans. Man, this is going to be a good game. If Houston can win this game, it's going to be a coming out party for them. Jacksonville's favored by 1.5. I think let me check Let me check the over under here. 47.5. This could be a bar burner, a old Texas shootout, if you will. I would love to see Houston win this game. I've been betting against the Jaguars the entire season. And of course, right when I start pulling for them, they get embarrassed by the 49ers at home. But now they go on the road against Houston. This might start a losing streak for the Jaguars if the Houston Texans can get a hold of them. Houston 6-5. They're knocking on playoffs door. All right. Wow. Who would have thought that? Nobody thought that. Potential coach of the year could go to this. Could be this game right here could win the coach of the year. Matter of fact, this is the battle for first place in the AFC South. Who got the Jags? Who got the Jags? I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I think the Jags can slide here and potentially have to fight for their playoff lives if they lose this game. This on the road. You giving it to the Jaguars? Hold on for a second. On the road, favorite, 1.5. That's a loss. You need 3 points on the road. You need 3 points. All right. They beat the Jags by week 3 by 20. Okay. Tough to beat a team twice, but listen, this could be an interesting week right there. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at Texans right there. I'm going to pull for the Texans for that one. I'm not putting any money on it. All right. What's coming up next? Derek Carr, the injured, riddled New Orleans Saints, and the STI Dirty Bird Atlanta Falcons. This over for the Falcons. But the Saints, this is your chance to clinch the playoffs. They're literally going to host the playoff game at 5-5 if this madness continues. All right, so the Saints, as I predicted, would get to the playoffs, but they're going to get to the playoffs ugly. Nobody wants to win the NFC South. I knew it would be bad, but they literally had the whole division had the easiest schedule in the NFL, and the top team is 5-5. Now, people laughed at me when I said the Saints will go to the playoffs, all right, and potentially could sneak in. Well, it still holds favor because they're going to host a first-round game. They're going to host one. They're going to host one if they can keep this bullshit up, right? And then if they host one, they can sneak somebody like the Lions. They can sneak the Lions at home, and then they sneak the Lions. They sneak somebody else. Well, they'll run into San Francisco and or Philadelphia at that point, and it's a wrap. All right, but watch out for the Saints here. I got Saints on this one, but it's Derek Carr, so you never know what the hell is going to happen here. He's so inconsistent. He's so inconsistent. I don't know what to tell you. All right. These people don't matter, but the Rams picked up a win last week. Didn't see that coming. And the Cardinals also, did they pick up a win too? I think Kyler Murray. No, I think they played close. The Cajun Chicken Bowl. But yeah, Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray's coming out trying to save his job, preventing Caleb Williams from coming to the Cardinals. That's basically what he's playing for. He's playing for his contract in order to stay in the starting position. He came back out from injury. He looked very good. The Rams looked decent. I believe in the last game they won. Yeah, they beat the Seahawks by a point, which is weird. What are the Seahawks doing? And Rams and Cardinals, the Cardinals played. Who did they play last week? They played the Texans and played them close. And they also beat the Falcons, the Dirty Birds before that, the STI Birds. So Falcons are kind of on the rise, and they got a decent schedule here to finish out. Rams, Steelers, Bears. All right. And then they get walloped here. So maybe Kyler Murray is his name. Maybe he's trying to prevent Caleb Williams from coming over. All right. I think I got the Cardinals with the win. All right. Next teams right here. This is a future potential playoff battle. I know. Denver Broncos in the playoffs. I know. It sounds crazy. They couldn't make the playoffs. They could make the playoffs. I don't know what they're going to do, but they can make the playoffs. Cleveland Browns, not a lot of offense, but they seem to be beating people. And the Denver Broncos are favored at Denver. 1.5. I'm sure the over-under here is very low. Let me see here what the over-under is. 36 points. Yeah. 36 point over and under. The problem is the Browns don't score enough points to be able to keep up with the Broncos, which their offense is going to be able to put up some points. All right. So if this game gets to 21 points, the Browns could lose, although they can They can score some points here and there, but they got PJ Washington, as some people call him. He ain't going to be able to put up no points. The Broncos looking good here. Let's take a look at the Broncos. I'm not a Broncos fan at all. I hate the Broncos. All right, but what are we doing here? You got Broncos here, Browns, Texans, Chargers who are on the mend, the Lions who are tanking for some reason, the Patriots, the Chargers again, and the Raiders. Look at the schedule for the Broncos. Very favorable schedule. 7 games left. They could actually go ahead and split this right here, get into second place in the AFC West. And they don't have the Kansas City Chiefs anymore. They played the Chiefs, beat them once. I mean, the Broncos are sitting pretty right now. I mean, who would have thought? I said Washington. It's Walker. My bad. Who thinks the Broncos can get in? PJ Walker, not Washington. Is it Washington or Walker? Who cares? All right, Broncos, man. Broncos looking good here. I think they got some momentum. I think they go ahead and PJ Washington is the basketball player. All right, here we go right here. I think that's the guy. All right, anyway, me with names. What are we doing here? This is what makes the show fun. Bills and Eagles. Eagles. The Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia, it's over for you. At Philadelphia, which would have been a tough game a few weeks ago. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are primed and ready to make a run. Now, this is their tough part of their schedule here, and they already showed up and showed out. All right, so they beat the Cowboys. Then they beat the Chiefs. This was their gauntlet. This is the part of the schedule I was worried about. I was like, man, they got the Cowboys and the Chiefs. It's a wrap. And the Bills. They don't get a day off. And the 49ers. Then back at Dallas. Then the Sea Hags. All right, so their schedule is brutal. But right now, they're 2-0. Who would have thought? They're 2-0 against this gauntlet already. Now, they still got a 3-week heavy. They got to get past Buffalo, which I'll think they will. Then they got the 49ers and the Cowboys. Yay. I think right now the Eagles are the team to beat until we see them against the 49ers. We see them against the 49ers, we're going to figure out who this team really is. But listen, they've been stepping up to all the challenges. Let's check the spread here. I don't know if I'm going to take an under on the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's at 48.5. That probably is going to be an under. All right, because anytime I bet over on the Bills, they never cover. All right, so for some reason, I'm going to pick the under on that one. What is the spread here? Who's the favorite? I would think the Eagles are favored by 3. Not much wiggle room there. Bills could cover, or they could get blown out. All right, what are the Buffalo Bills looking at here the rest of the season? Buffalo Bills got the Eagles, the Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers. Yeah, they got a gauntlet themselves. And I don't know what they're going to do here with the Bills. All right, can they get a playoff run going? Let me check this real quick. Can they get a playoff run? Right now, the Dolphins are ahead of them. I don't think they'll catch them. Could they sneak into the playoffs going 6 and they would have to go 9, 10 wins here. They're only looking at 10 to 11 wins. Oh, boy. It could get tough for them. It could get tough. It could get tough to make the playoffs. They may not make the playoffs right now. Or they may not make the playoffs. They might be out of the playoffs here. Let me look at some projections real quick. NFL playoff current. I think the Bills aren't even in the playoffs right now for the playoff picture. All right, Buffalo Bills, where are we at here? All right, yep, they're not even in the playoffs. Oh, they're on the bubble right now. This is a disgrace. It's a disgrace for the Buffalo Bills. Just so you can see the picture here. They're on the bubble. They better start winning some games. They in the hunt. All right, so you got right here. Where's my seedage here? My seeds. They're down here at number 8. They're in the hunt. They're down here with the Colts and the Broncos. The Bengals are bye-bye. They're done. Raiders going through a gauntlet. We'll cover that next. Their next 4 games are a nightmare. Chargers done. All right, so Raiders might be the only team that might pull up, but we're going to see in 3 weeks. Colts gone. There's nothing happening there. So it's really the Broncos, potentially the Raiders. We'll find out. And then the Bills. But then The Bills lose this week. Bye-bye. Can the Steelers hold on? Can the Steelers hold on? This is the only spot left. Number 7. All these other teams should hold. They should hold masculine frame. So there's really only one spot in the AFC, and it's either going to go to the Steelers, Buffalo, Colts, Broncos, Raiders. I think the Broncos might have the best shot at getting into that last playoff spot. That's just my opinion here. All right. Caitlin says, Coach, I know you said you don't believe Lamar Jackson, or you said you don't believe Lamar Jackson won't win a Super Bowl, but right now the Ravens have to be a favorite in the AFC. The Chiefs are not. Thoughts? They're not getting past the Chiefs. Ravens are not beating the Chiefs. All right, that's that. All right, here we go. Ravens are not beating the Chiefs. That's the reality of that. Let's go ahead and put that on the board. All right, so Ravens looking good. Here's the thing. See, look, falling down. The Ravens are tough, and they don't even have their full team together yet. They still haven't had their full team. But I think what we got here, this is going to be an interesting matchup here. You know what? To be honest with you, looking at the AFC, it's either the Ravens or the Chiefs. Yeah, their tight end still hurt. They don't even have their full team. I'm looking at it. It's either Ravens or the Chiefs. Miami is not going to do nothing. Miami is going to get bounced. This is just me talking. All right, I'll have to do that, Andy. This is the Ravens or the Chiefs division conference here. All these other teams are nice playoff games. Good job. They're going to get bounced by even the Ravens. But the Miami Dolphins can't do nothing. All right, their defense is not ready. They don't have the defense to go. Now, can they look good in the playoffs and make a good playoff game? Could they get to the AFC Championship? I don't see Miami doing something. The Ravens aren't even fully their team yet. It's Kansas City's. Kansas City. What do we got here? If it's Ravens or Chiefs, I think right now you got Ravens with a home game. I don't know. Yeah, Dolphins look good. This is not their year yet. I don't feel it, but I might be wrong. All right. So Ravens, if they actually had the healthy team, I think he could win. But I don't think I'm not a big fan of Lamar Jackson in terms of the way he plays. And he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy all the way into the playoffs. You know, he doesn't run as much as he used to, but he's got to stay healthy for the next 6 weeks. That's a tall task. All right, yeah, Kansas City, man, their receivers were absolutely pathetic. And by the way, man, I was going to my predicted score would have been all point if that receiver would have caught the ball right there on the 1-yard line in the end zone. Okay. All right, here we go right here. All right, Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders. Let's talk about them right here. What are we doing here? Oh, yeah, right at the 30-minute mark. Super Bowl this year. Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to try to get me a ticket. I'm not a big crowd guy either, so I'm just, But yeah, I'm going to try to get a ticket. I'm not going to go to parties and all that. I don't need to be around there. But Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders, this is going to be potentially an ugly game. Kansas City, the Raiders coach, Antonio Pierce, has already called out the Raiders fans for not showing up. Typically, it's 60-40 Raiders fans or close to 50-50. In this one, it will be 80% Chiefs fans. 80%. The last year's game, it was 90% Chiefs fan, but it was the last game of the season. The Raiders were already out of the playoff hunt, and Derek Carr was already kicked out of the Allegiant Stadium. So you can already understand why not many Raiders fans showed up last year, and that was my chance to see the Chiefs versus the Raiders. It was 90% Chiefs fans. It was embarrassing. And I think Antonio Pierce knows this because the Raiders fans in Las Vegas, they're really not, Raiders fans per se. They do have a lot of fans that come in from all over the West Coast to come in for their first Raiders game. Some are loyalists. They'll come from the Bay Area or Los Angeles. But the Las Vegas community is not Raider fans at all. Let's take a look here. Kansas City is struggling on offense. which makes it interesting. The defense is going to be tough. We struggle on offense. So right now, the Raiders are giving up 9 points here. So you got to see if the Raiders can cover this. And judging by the Kansas City Chiefs' last few games, it could be possible that the Raiders can cover as long as Kansas City doesn't score over 28 points. If Kansas City scores 28 points, we're not going to cover. If we can keep them under that, there might be a chance. All right, so let me look at the over-under on this game. If you're talking about 9-point spread, they're talking about 42.5 points. Well, listen, I've seen the Chiefs score 40 points on the Raiders almost unanswered. All right, so, but the Raiders defense is playing inspired, so it could be, anything could be possible. We can see here. All I can do is hope that the Raiders show up as a fan, but being realistically, I don't know what's going to happen. And let's take a look at this, where the Raiders stand. The Raiders are in for a treat in the next 5 games. So they have the Dolphins, which they look pretty good. They kept the Dolphins to 20 points. That is almost their lowest point scored total the rest of the season, the whole season. The Dolphins, the juggernaut offense Dolphins, held them to 20. That could be favorable for a win for the Raiders. Shout out to the Raiders. But the Raiders then invite the Vikings in 2 weeks after a bye. They get a bye after this game. Then they have the Chargers, which normally is a highly contested rivalry game. Chargers want to do anything against us. And then we have the Chiefs again. So, and then the Broncos to finish out the season, which the Broncos will probably be trying to get into the playoffs. This is a tough ticket. Dolphins, Chiefs, Vikings, Chargers, Chiefs. That's a tough one. We're Broncos with the Colts in there. The Colts will be battling for their playoff lives. So this is the third toughest schedule. This is the third toughest schedule remaining in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. So Raiders could get a dub if the fans show up and show out, defense shows up and show out, and we can get our receiving core. We got some of the best players. We got some of the best players on offense. I mean, we had the leading rusher last year. We had the leading receiver. We gave up our tight end because Josh McDaniels is a punk. All right. And he could not stand. His ego was feeling some sort of way. And but we got Hunter Renfrow. I mean, some of our listen, we got AOC, who's not that bad of a quarterback. He's not that bad. He's better than Garoppolo. And it should be a situation where we should be way better than this. But if you look at our point totals, man, we just cannot score more than 20 points. I think we've only scored, let's see here, 30 was our highest total, but that was the Giants. We haven't been over, 17. You guys see this on the bill? No, you don't see this. Just can't score. I mean, not a lot of teams can score. Look, 10. Wait a minute. What was this one? This was last year. That was last year. All right, let's get back to this year. That's preseason. Preseason. Okay. 17 right there. 10, 18, 17, 21, 12, 14. There's a 30. And that was an interception return, if I'm not mistaken. All right, at the end of the game. 16, 13. I mean, Jesus. If we want to beat the Chiefs, we're going to have to put up way more than those point total. We need to be like 24 points to beat the Chiefs, 24. All right, but we'll see what they do in here. We'll see what they're doing. Raider Nation, stand up. If y'all don't stand up, then you fall back. All right, what are we doing? Last couple of games, and then we're going to get up out of here, man, because college football is coming to an end. It's coming to an end, and I got crushed on Friday. I shouldn't have even put down no money. Ravens and the Chargers. Ravens at Chargers. This is going to be Ravens coming out party again. Chargers, let's see if your coach can last. This will be a good game. I think it'll be a good game, but I don't think the Chargers can prevail. Let me take a look at these point totals real quick. All right, Chargers we got over under at 48. Chargers are a underdog, 3.5 points. I think this could be a good game where the Ravens are going to blow the Chargers out. I think the coach is done there. Coach is done. And it's not a surprise. I think if they lose that game, coach is going to be looking for another job. Unfortunately, I'm not celebrating it, but coach going to be looking for another job. And it's a good time to replace the coach because you got the Patriots coming in. You don't want the coach coming in with the gauntlet here. So the Chargers got a tough 6 weeks ahead of them. Broncos twice, Bills, Chiefs, got Raiders on the schedule. Yeah, it's a wrap for the Chargers. Yeah, I don't see them. Look at these games. There are only 2 wins possible. There's only 1 or 2 wins in this remaining schedule for the Chargers. Where's KT King? KT King's not here. So I got Ravens beating the Chargers. Last game is going to be nobody cares. Bears, Vikings, Vikings with the dub. As a particular point right here, Vikings are favored by 3. I think the Vikings will win this game. Potentially, maybe Justin Fields does do something. I have no idea. I think he's not the best quarterback for that system. He's a good quarterback, but I think Justin Fields should be on another team. This is not his team. I think he can do good as a backup somewhere and then coming in, maybe still in a starting jobs from somewhere else. Maybe he's in another system. Bears are done. Vikings with the dub. All right. Yeah, where's KT King? All right, so that's about it for today. We're gonna have possibly coming up is the NCAA. Well, they don't even call it NCAA football. We call it they call it college football. NCAA is almost irrelevant unless they're beating up on little teams like James Madison. They seem to go tuck their tail when it comes to the big teams because of money. But college football coming to an end here, and this is the last week. We got conference championships coming up. We're probably going to have a better picture of who's going to be in the conference championship games at the end of the day. We'll probably do a show going into that. Nonetheless, protect your pockets, never chase your losses, and also make sure you root for your team hard. I'll be at the game, Raiders versus Chiefs, and then all of that in the back of Chiefs Ahoy. All right, you got it? We got it, man. We out of here. Peace.